Hello everyone, for this week's Recycle, Repurpose, Reuse or Use Your Scraps challenge, I want to use bits and pieces that I have had hanging around on my desk. I had a bit of a tidy up a couple of days ago and these are a few of the bits and pieces that I pulled together. These are just these smaller elements, everything else I have tidied away. These are all really nicely coordinated, so I am sure we can come up with something that we can use in our journals with these odds and sods. The first piece that's calling to me is this piece here. I'm just going to pull out a few bits and pieces that I think coordinate really nicely, and let's see what we can do with some of these. I've got this beautiful fuchsia flower here, so let me just see if I can pick this up. I love how that looks. In fact, let me just move these to one side carefully so that I don't break anything. And I'm just going to see what I can pull together. I've got this die cut. I've got no idea where this came from. It could have been sent in Happy Mail. It could have been something that that I cut out myself. I've got no idea, but I really like the way that that looks. I'm wondering whether it can go onto this blue background here. Let's try it. You know, if it doesn't work, just play around and try a different design. No harm done. Love this handmade paper here. See, I like that as it is, and I'm not sure whether that's now too much. It doesn't really need to be there, but just playing around with designs. I've just pulled out my usual scraps journal and I've got this page here that I think might work quite well with my layout. I like working on these small pages, and I know that some of these have been requested by you as well as to how we fill them. So let's have a go with this. I think the blue handmade paper is too much. It covers up too much of that gorgeous background, so I'm going to discard that. I do want to use these two pieces here though. I think those work really well. I've also got this gorgeous fern die cut, so I want to use this in my layout as well. Now, do I want it to go that way round or like that? I think it looks lovely in that orientation. I have also got this piece of green burlap. It's too big and bulky, so what I am going to do is just cut the edges off. Let's do this, see if I can cut in a straight line. I'm also going to fray the edges. Let's just pull off a few strands. I might need to trim it on this side here just to make it a bit more even. And I am thinking that we can maybe have, let's just play around with this. I'd quite like to be able to see the little circles here, the punches. And then maybe if we have this here like that. I've also got a couple of words as well. These are Tim Holtz chit chat words that I discard, and I keep them just on the drawers, the handle drawers of my drawers behind me. So we've got original and memory. I'm thinking original would work quite well. Maybe we could have that there like that. And you know, I think that's going to be enough. I think that's really pretty. The colours work really well. That's a really simple design. I'm clearly inspired by the prompt in the Facebook group this month, which was to create a collage using no more than 7 pieces. How many have we got here? Not including the background, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just 5 pieces, and that is just absolutely lovely. So I think I'm going to glue that down. So here we are. I've glued all of my elements down. I think that looks absolutely lovely. Let me just turn my page. In fact, actually, I'll have it like this. I've also got this beautiful die cut here that I was originally going to use. Now we've got some purple in the background, and I think this is going to work really well. I've also got this piece of dried flower or dried leaf. I've got no idea what this has come from. Of course, I've been drying flowers over the last few years. Willy-nilly. I've also got this specimen number. This was from a stamp. Can I lay my hands on the stamped image? I don't think I can. Oh, hang on a second. Let's have a look. Here it is. Now, this is one that I got from AliExpress. I've been asked about this a lot recently. I don't think it's a current one. I got this a few years ago, so I don't know whether you could still get hold of it, but that's what it looks like. And I'm just going to trim this down because it's just a little bit too wide. So let's just make that a bit narrower, and I think I'm just going to glue that on there like that and keep this collage on this side of the page really simple. I think that's enough. Just glued my die cut down, and I popped some art glitter glue onto the back of my dried flower piece as well. I'm going to try and line it up with the stem on this background here. Let's just tap that down and then just add this piece here. I might cut it down a little bit more as well. Still a bit too wide. There we go. I think that's a bit better. Really like how that page looks. So those are the two pages side by side. I really like those. Let's see if we can do something with the middle. I really like this piece of handmade leftover paper here, and we have also got this piece of paper which was a scrap left over, and I've also got this here. This was left over from my Daphne's diary page. We've got a piece of burlap. I've also got this, which was from a piece of packaging as well. So I quite like how that looks. It needs balancing better. So I'm just going to have a fiddle around with this. I'm wondering whether I could put it onto this leftover piece of burlap here. I'm going to have to be careful with this blue page because it's incredibly fragile. Do those two go together or not? Blue and green, I think they do. It goes with the colour on this side here. And I'm just wondering whether I can perhaps mount it onto this larger piece of handmade paper here as well. You see, that looks really pretty. That's just beautiful. I've also got this piece of leftover silk. Now, this was from a piece of handmade made paper that my friend Mel made me. I was going to use it in a project a couple of weeks ago, and I just couldn't bring myself to do it because the page that I was creating didn't warrant me using the beautiful paper, but I tore some of the strands off around the edges and, of course, kept them. So I'm wondering whether I could have that, something like that. Maybe I could change it around and have the green on top. You see, I really like that. And would that work on this page here? Just trying to find little tiny collages that will work really well on these small pages here. Do you know, to me, I think that works. I'm going to stick that down as well. Looks really cohesive to me, and I'm just going to add a little quote, memory, another one of the Tim Holtz chit chat words that was glued to my drawers in front of me, and I'm just going to pop that there. And that's another little collage page. Isn't that sweet? So we've got these 3 pages here, and I just need to do something now with this right hand page. Let's see what we can find for that. Now, change of plan on this page here. It's not working. It's 2-dimensional. Can you see how thick that is? So I've taken that one off. You can see that it's removed some of the paper. That's okay, because I'm going to pop this down in its place, and that's going to cover up where I've taken that off. So all I'm going to do now is just apply a little bit of glue, just a dab, just on these larger petals as well, just to make sure that that's not going anywhere and it's not going to lift and tear. And let's pop this on. Oh, come on, let's see if I can grab it. And that paper needs to go that way up, and I'm just going to, as I've said, just cover where that that paper tear was. And that's much better. And now actually it's much more in keeping with the other side as well. So let's see what we can find to go on this page here. Let's have a look and see if we can finish this central spread off. I've got this piece of paper here. Now this was from the spine of a book. You know, when you take the pages out, this was just the central piece. It just looks so interesting. I am just going to pull it apart like this naturally, and let's see if we can add this. And I also want to use the remainder of that blue paper as well. Let's see if we can pull a design together. We've got some more of this green here. I want to tie the green in with the opposite page. And then we need a focal image. Now I've had to pull out my ephemera holder, and I'm just wondering whether there's anything in here that we might be able to use. Let's have a look and see what we've got. You see, we've got a feather. I wonder whether we could perhaps use that. You see, colour-wise, that's beautiful. That's really pretty. So I'm going to keep that one in mind. We've got these beautiful, pretty, sparkly ones, colour-wise, which are perfect, but I'm not sure about the sparkle. Let's try it and see, because everything else has got an organic matte type texture, but that is really pretty. Could be interesting. And we've got a bit of shine from the embossing on the back page, so that is a possibility. So let's pop that one to one side. What else have we got? Again, we've got this flower here, which was sent to me in Happy Mail, and this is either alcohol inks or some kind of metallic design. I'm not quite sure. You see, that is really pretty as well. Isn't that beautiful? I've decided I'm going to glue my background down first, so I'm just going to fiddle around with this. I want it to be as wide as possible and fill as much of that space. So I'm just going to fiddle around with my pieces. And as soon as I've done that, I'll be straight back. And then I think once I've got something fixed, it'll make it easier for me to play around with some of these beautiful die cuts and see which one is going to work the best. I've glued my background down, just decided to use just these 3 pieces here, but for my focal image I think I'm going to use this flower. It pulls the opposite page together and also, you know, the pages on the other side as well, picking out the beautiful green. I love that. We've also got the purple as well, which is on the back and in the background, so that's what I've decided to use. Of course, this is a really fiddly piece to glue. I'm just using art glitter glue, just dabs of it along the spine and on the leaves as well. Not too much because I don't want it spilling out all over the place, but this will be enough because this glue is strong enough to hold everything in place. And then to finish my page off, I'm just going to add the quote timeless, or word timeless. You can see that I've changed memory as well. I've added it to a bit of the green burlap and this one to the beige burlap, just so that it ties in with the opposite page. So I'm just going to stick that down as well. Oh, there we have it. That is finished, and I can't tell you how satisfying it is just playing around with a bunch of scraps, practically nothing just left over, minute bits and bobs really, and trying to make something cohesive out of it. I am really happy with that. So let's pop it back into the journal. My camera up so that you can see a bit more clearly. Now originally the page was in the centre. I think that's too busy. It's just competing too much with the flowers that I've got here. So I've decided that I'm going to pop it here. I think that looks much nicer. It's picking out the purple that's in the background as well, which goes with the paper bag. It also tones really well with this marbled piece of paper as well. This was one of my marbled backgrounds. Absolutely love that. It goes really well. The marbled background goes really well with this page here, as does this with the lavender. So, you know, I think that's the right spot for that piece. Let me just show you again. Isn't that pretty? Really chuffed with that. Now I've just lifted my camera up so that you can actually see what I'm doing. Now originally this was in the centre, and I think it's just going to be too busy. This would compete too much with the flowers that are here, so I'm going to leave that as the central spread. And I've decided that I'm going to put this little page here behind the marbled paper. Colour wise it goes absolutely beautifully. This tones really well, I think anyway. So So hang on, let me just straighten myself out. I just think it goes really well with this beautiful marbled background. And of course, we've got that front and back. That goes beautifully. This page here complements the lavender. I just love how that works. This goes together really nicely. And I think what I'll do is keep the marbled background plain and just add some kind of inspirational quote, because I don't want to end up with this page competing with this one here or this one here. And again, this one, the purple in the background picks out the purple in the paper bag on the left hand side. So I am really happy with that. Chuffed to bits. And as I've said before, it is just so satisfying just using oddments and scraps that you've got lying around on your desk. Just got a couple of other things I want to share with you. Do you remember the butterfly that I created the last time I was working in this journal? This was a butterfly that I got from my olive oil magazine, and I asked your advice as to what you thought I should do with the wings. The wings were originally attached like this, and I just tacked them down very loosely because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with them. Many of you suggested that I should cut the wings off and use these for another project, and that's exactly what I've decided to do. Some of you also suggested that I should keep them intact. Hang on, how did they go? They were like that, and then paint and add a poem or inspirational quotes or something to the butterfly. But you know, I've just decided to cut them off, so I've now got these to use in another project. So you know, keep watching and we'll see what we can come up with these. Finally, I want to do something with these beautiful tags that I made a couple of days ago using the Paul Rubens Gucai watercolour paints. Gucai, can anybody help me? How do you pronounce it? Anyway, I have decided that I want these to go on these pages here. Now, of course, this page is not going to work in its current form, so I'm just going to take this out and let's try and transform this and make a beautiful spread. For starters, I'm just going to glue this piece of wallpaper down to this background. This is not going to work with this design, so I'm just going to glue this on, and as soon as I've done that, I'll be straight back. So that's the wallpaper glued on, so I'm just going to pop this back in the journal, and then I want to do something with the opposite page as well. So that's how they're going to go side by side, which I think will look fabulous. Let's take this one out. Inside here I've got some gold toned wallpaper, and I'm just going to glue a piece on here like this. And as soon as I've done that, I'll be straight back. It's done and it's nice and neat. So let's pop this back into the journal as well. And then you'll see what I'm going to do with these two beautiful tags. So those are the backgrounds side by side. And what I am thinking is that I can have these, one in the pocket here and maybe one mounted on the opposite side here. And I just think those go beautifully together. I just want to jazz the tags up a little bit. So let's see what we can do. See if we can add something to the tops of these tags before we pop them back into the journal. I'm going to just chomp out a little circle from the gold, and I'm going to do the same with this wallpaper here. Which part do I want to use? Does it even really matter? I don't think it does. Oh, in fact, let's go for this part here. And then I'm going to fold these in half. Don't overthink it, Nina, just do it. I'll do the same with the gold. Oh, this one's not so easy to fold properly. And then I'm thinking that I can just have a little tag at the tops of these. So one here perhaps and one here. Now the reason that I've chosen to do these the way round that I have is bring back the journal. I am thinking that this busier one here with all the doodling on can go on this page here, and I think that will tie it in with this page here. This one, which is the more vintage style, is just going to go on here as background. That's just going to be so beautiful. But I just think just adding a tab at the top just adds a little something. Let me just put my thinking cap on and see if I'm happy with that or whether I want to do anything else. Well, I'm not really sure if this black is working for me, but before I discard it, what I've decided to do is add some gold dots to both of them. So I'm just using my Deco Premium Prime Premio pen by Mavi Uchida. This is the best gold pen in my opinion, just absolutely beautiful. So I'm just going to add loads of gold gold dots, and then I'm going to add an outline of gold around the edge of the disc as well. So we'll add it to that one there. I'm also going to add some gold dots to this one, and if it doesn't work, then what I'll do is cut another one of these. But let's see how this works first. You know, you don't know until you try, do you? So I don't want to discard it before I've tried this. It might be, you know, a blessing. Who knows? A happy accident, as it were. So let's see if this works first. These look really cool now. I'm happy with those. It's just added a nice little touch to the top of the tags. So I'm going to glue these down. Add the tags to the journal. This one here is going to slip straight inside this pocket here. I've also got this tag here, which was cut from an old piece of wallpaper. I think that goes really well, and I just think it complements it. And for this side here, I just want to add a little pocket here, just using some well, it's kind of like an acetate. It's just something that I picked up from the scrap store a long time ago. So again, I'm going to take, whoops daisy, I've got two here. I'm just going to take this page out of the journal just to make it easier to work on, and I'm going to use some Fabri-Tac just around the edges to stick this down. Just applied a small amount of glue around the edge, and I'm going to stick this down. Of course, because it's see-through, it's really difficult to judge where I need to put it. I just need an opening wide enough to be able to fit my tag in. That's perfect. So I just need to leave this for a few minutes just for that glue to dry. Here is my finished spread back in the journal. As you can see, I've swapped the tags around, and let me just take these out and show you them on a white background. These are the tags that I created for my last video, and the unanimous favourite was this one here, which has you know, a clearly more vintagey and subtle feel. I thought that I might have overdone this one, but you know, in the right place with the right background. Let me just check that I'm in camera shot again. I love it, absolutely love it. And this one is by far my favourite. I do love this one here as well, so I'm popping that one in there like that. I think they look really nice side by side. This tag here is from an old wallpaper sample that was given to me free. I think it was something that I picked up from the scrap store, and the ribbon at the top is from perfume packaging as well, but you know, I just think that looks a really cohesive double page spread. I also like the fact as well that you can see the repeat pattern of this one here from the wine label. I love that throughout the journal. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing a few more pages in my journal come together. So let me just flip through these last pages. So I've done these four here, and of course this double page spread, and I'm really happy with both of them. So if you've enjoyed my video today, as always, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up. I hope it's given you some ideas and inspiration. Do let me know what you think in the comments below. Of course, don't forget to go and check out Kylie's video this week and see what she's been up to, but most importantly, thanks for watching. Take care everyone, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye for now.